And we begin tonight with breaking news. A major road through Pinal County is closed after a deadly hit and run. Sky 12 flew over the scene on Hunt Highway near Magma Road in Santan Valley around 6 o'clock. 3 people were taken to the hospital. According to a Pinal County Sheriff's Office, the suspect's car that left the scene is a black Ford F-250 or F-350 with front end damage. It's unclear at this time what led to the crash or when the road will reopen. Stay with 12 News for more updates. Thanks everyone for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Tonight, a Tucson woman who was arrested by Tempe police over a social media post is suing the city. The incident happened last August. Authorities claiming the post posed a threat to a council meeting. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly joins us live there now with the details. Chase, what's going on?
Well, Mark, it was that one Facebook post that led to the Tempe City Council meeting being evacuated and canceled due to safety concerns, and that poster in custody. Now, the county attorney's office declined to prosecute this case, and now that woman is suing the city, saying her constitutional rights were violated. It's an incident that reportedly ruined 56-year-old Kathleen Tierney's career, getting her fired from her job and made her unemployable. All over this Game of Thrones gif. That's according to a lawsuit she filed in federal court against the city of Tempe. Back in August, the city council was set to address a controversial park ordinance during a meeting. On that day, the lawsuit claims Tierney, a public affairs professional who lives in Tucson, commented on a city council member's Facebook page under the name Katie Marie. It was of this gif showing Queen Cersei watching as a massive explosion happens in the fictional city with the caption, "Connor Culver watching tonight's council meeting." Culver was a regular council critic and against the park ordinance that was going to be discussed. The lawsuit claims Tierney made the post as a joke and didn't make any personal threats. But court documents say the council member reported it to police, who did take it as a threat, leading to the meeting being evacuated, canceled, and a criminal investigation into Tierney. In September, Tempe police arrested Tierney at her Tucson home and seized her cell phone, laptops, and other electronic devices. They then transported her from Tucson to Tempe, where she was booked into jail and released with no way of getting home. The lawsuit writes her mugshot and allegations calling her a credible threat led to her losing her job and not being able to find another. The Maricopa County Attorney's Office then declined to pursue felony charges due to unlikelihood of a conviction. Now Tierney is suing the city for violating her First, Fourth, and 14th Amendment rights.
They definitely went too far.
Greg Leslie, director of the First Amendment Clinic at ASU Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law, says he's surprised the city of Tempe took it this far.
It's not even a close question as to whether there was a real threat or not.
That unless there is a direct threat being made, people can make worse posts than this.
They don't have the right to make that kind of speech illegal. So yeah, I think her lawsuit is on very good grounds.
Now, we did receive a statement from the city of Tempe regarding this lawsuit. They said their top priority is making sure that Tempe is safe. As far as the lawsuit, they said that they will respond to specific allegations through the judicial process. We're live in Tempe tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Interesting case. All right, Chase, thanks. We have an update tonight on Peoria Police's investigation into the Peoria Unified School District.
The district says that police have finished serving a search warrant at its headquarters. District leaders say that they were notified late yesterday that officers had completed their work. Police first took over the building on Monday as part of a sex crimes investigation.
People living in a Mesa neighborhood say they've had it. The last 2 years have been an absolute nightmare after squatters took over one of the homes.
Yeah, they say it became a hub for drugs, crime, and even prostitution. 12 News journalist Jade Cunningham has more on why neighbors are optimistic that change is coming.
For neighbors near Main Street and North Mesa Drive,
we see it every day, could smell it every day.
This house isn't just an eyesore.
This has just been a big black hole in our neighborhood.
It's a nuisance. Dan Shumway says the problem began about 2 years ago when the owners of the home were arrested.
The house sat vacant for about 2 months. And then some squatters moved in. There's just constant traffic, cars, trucks, motorcycles, people, and you just we just felt like we couldn't just go outside and have friends over and have kids play out front.
Shumway says he and others were fed up.
From what I was told from Mesa Police Department is they do have squatters' rights, and according to the Fourth Amendment, they do have personal property there, so they do have claim of what's there.
The city first inspected the property in March and issued multiple notices of violation, items that still weren't fixed when inspectors returned. On July 1st, a lien was recorded against the property. Mesa Police conducted their own investigation, and after finding evidence of drug sales and use, officers served a search warrant on July 2nd.
I was thinking, oh, finally, they're doing something, getting these people out of here. And there was a SWAT team, 2 big SWAT trucks, and then probably about 10 or 12 police cruisers, and then officers in riot gear, and flashbangs going off. They had a couple of drones flying around.
According to the Maricopa County Assessor's Office, since May 2024, the property has been owned by United Wholesale Mortgage, LLC.
Which I believe Matt Ishbia is the CEO of. We have reached out to him, the neighbors have reached out to him and said, hey, is there anything? And he did respond. And
What did he say?
Just said he's going to look into it.
UWM sending 12 News this statement. We are aware of the situation involving the property and have been in communication with the Sheriff's Office and other local authorities regarding the matter. We appreciate the efforts being taken by law enforcement to secure the property and recognize the concerns expressed by neighboring residents. We will continue to cooperate with relevant agencies and community stakeholders as they work through the situation.
It would be nice if there was something he could look into, get the ball rolling in the neighborhood to, if nothing more, to clean it up or condemn it, tear it down.
Which they hope will happen soon. That way this neighborhood can feel like a neighborhood once again. Jade Cunningham, 12 News.
Jade, thanks. Let's bring in meteorologist Chris Dunn now. And Chris, so as if the extreme heat wasn't bad enough, now we're going to have heat and humidity.
Yes, and storms. We're going to transition this weekend. Yes, much needed rainfall. We're ending the streak of extreme heat. 111 was the high today, but we did break our streak of 4 days in a row of 113 degrees. We're transitioning to this monsoon pattern. The Four Corners high that we always talk about is actually going to end up somewhere around Colorado, Wyoming, Montana. But the steering flow will bring in that moisture from Sonora, Mexico, and also from the Gulf of California. That's fuel for thunderstorms. We did have some pretty strong storms across southeastern Arizona this evening, especially in Cochise County, but a lot of that is now moving down to the south. What that is going to do, the outflow from that will further prime the pump, so to speak. So setting the stage for more storms. As we go into Saturday, again, the possibility of severe storms across southeastern Arizona. But as we go into Sunday, that green area here, that extends through the valley. So storms on the way this weekend. Sunday evening, we have a weather impact alert. Thunderstorms with rain, lightning, and gusty winds. Make sure you stay weather aware and keep checking back with us online and on the air right here at 12 News. We'll keep you updated on the progress of these storms. And it's not just for Sunday night. It's an extended period. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Chris, thanks. We remain on wildfire watch tonight with several updates on fires burning in the high country. Officials tell us containment lines for the rolling fire held overnight, keeping the fire at 6 acres and 10% contained. The fire broke out yesterday afternoon, 65 miles north of Phoenix, forcing residents of Cordes Lakes to evacuate. Unfortunately, one family did lose their home. Evacuation orders have been lifted.
Meanwhile, the pocket fire continues to burn north of Sedona, scorching more than 27,000 acres. It is now 69% contained. Right now, more than 1,000 firefighters are working to strengthen containment lines and protect nearby communities. The Forest Service says that dead trees have been a major challenge, acting like massive torches that send embers into the air, which help the fire spread.
New tonight, wildfire experts are warning people about the dangers of an invasive snail and its brightly colored eggs.
Yeah, these slugs can be found at the Salt River, and they're posing a threat to Arizona wildlife. 12 News journalist Tiani Jadaling went to the Salt River to see the bright colored eggs for herself.
They look like a cluster of bright pink bubblegum and can be found on the riverbanks and sometimes even in the water. But for the last several years, Arizona Game and Fish have been trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, they kind of look like nerds.
They look like some candy growing on the rock, and it was interesting, so I wanted to see what it was.
That's how people visiting the Salt River describe these bright pink clusters. They're apple snail eggs, and they come from slugs native to Florida and South and Central America. But as eye-catching as they are, experts with the Arizona's Game and Fish Department want them gone.
And unfortunately, somebody's unwanted aquarium pet was illegally released into the lower Salt River probably about 17 years ago.
Jeff Sorensen, the invertebrate wildlife program manager with Game and Fish, says a single female can produce thousands of young a year. But there's an issue because most of the wildlife don't feed on these type of slugs.
They do pose a threat to our native snail fauna, which is a big part of the food base for a lot of our fish and wildlife. Because these snails are so abundant, they're going to outcompete them or predate on them.
And the risk isn't just to wildlife.
These snails have a parasite, or may have a parasite, that might cause rat lungworm disease, which is if we get infected with it, it's a form of meningitis.
To keep the population in check, every 2 weeks, experts go down to the Salt River and do a time count for the pink egg masses, on top of already doing this.
Using our kayak and paddleboard paddles, knock those eggs into the water to drown those eggs. And then in the backwaters, so the shallow areas, we'll actually collect out the live snails.
And he says if you're out on the river, you can help too. Officials say paddlers can use a kayak paddle to knock down any pink egg masses they see. Something neighbors we spoke to say they're happy to do to keep the wildlife and family traditions alive.
We'll definitely do our part to help keep our river because it's our family tradition. We've been doing it for years now, and we want to
gotta keep the family traditions alive.
Yep. Arizona's Game and Fish say over the last 7 years, they've captured thousands of live apple snails and egg masses. And if you do happen to touch one of them, they advise that you wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water. At the Salt River, I'm Tiani Jadaling, 12 News.
Tiani, thanks. 12 News, the Arizona Diamondbacks and Amazon and Teach for America are all teaming up to pitch in for teachers. It's a community effort to help Valley educators get the classroom supplies they really need before the school year begins. To support a local teacher, visit 12news.com to donate or scan that QR code you see. That'll take you directly to an Amazon wish list for teachers. By contributing, you can make a real difference for students and teachers this year.